प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी, जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी, जय यशोदानंदन जय व्रज जन रंजना, जय यमुना तीरवनतारी, जय कुंज बिहारी, जय यमुना तीरवनचारी, जय कुंज बिहारी, जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय प्रभुपदा प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा, जय गुरुदेवा गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा। नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल। निताई गौर सीतानाथ प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। जय गुरु महाराज की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय. Just a second. Hare Krishna. Okay. Mm, we read the verse. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Welcome all to this session on Isopanisad Mantra 10. So you did a workshop on reference with Bhagavad Gita, and you saw that how these qualities are there. But rather than just theoretically knowing things, it's very, very important to know what is knowledge. So Krishna very clearly gives the definition of knowledge. This Ishopanishad Mantra 10 is specifically meant for understanding knowledge and understanding a really knowledgeable person. So there is a duplicate knowledge which is happening here. So which is already mentioned even in Srimad Bhagavatam also it is mentioned. How there is dharma projita kaitavo vatra paramo nirmatsaranam satam. So this Bhagavata dharma of devotional service is higher than all this bogus religions, bogus knowledge. It's a real knowledge, a real religion, which is the religion of the soul, the knowledge of the soul. We know that Sat Siddha Ananda. So this chit, eternal knowledge, full of knowledge. So what is this knowledge? That is what we need to understand, what is knowledge and what is not. Everything else is knee science that Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita. So let us see in this mantra 10 how can oh, only 9 of you are there. Where are the others? Maybe they thought that there is no class today. Anybody has any idea? Okay, gradually joining in. Okay, let us see. Okay, let us read this and we'll have a detailed look of this. Already you came back, so you have already read once that Bhagavad Gita's purport. So I have put the purports together to see each of this item, because we are going to get Bhakti Shastri, we are going to get very good knowledge, right? What kind of knowledge are we looking for? It's a very elaborate purport. So we'll quickly go through it. Jai Guru Maharaj ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, so we can start reading. Translation. The wise have explained that one result is derived from the culture of knowledge, and that a different result is obtained from the culture of nescience. So nescience means ignorance, or a science which is not science, duplicate. And it is ignorance, means no understanding of science, zero, emptiness, or we can say that foolishness or ignorance. There is no scientific understanding. That's called nescience. Nowadays some scientific knowledge is given thing saying that it is science, but actually it is nescience. Okay, so the we are going to see that the culture of knowledge, we call the person who has derived the real culture of knowledge as dhira, and that the one who has not attained that knowledge is called adhira. That's all. The two terms, this purport is ending with these two terms, dhira and adhira. So the dhira definition, the person who has acquired knowledge. So if you see what is that knowledge, you see this It is not the material education which defines a person whether he has knowledge or not. Like in our Acharya Parampara, we see that the Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is highly educated, but if you see Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, he is not educated, he is not literate, but he is Acharya Parampara and we are keeping him and worshipping. So let us see what kind of knowledge Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj had, so that Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur accepted him as spiritual master. Hmm? So yes, so we should know that whatever great this world is, people are speaking about qualities, whether Vedic people or non-Vedic people, if it is not related with Krishna, it is material and it is foolishness, it is ignorance. But when it is connected with Krishna, then it is real knowledge. So this is what we are understanding. So maybe somebody has to ping in the group that the class is there. Because they may assume that because this is Saturday, generally Sundays we don't have class. So maybe they thought that there is no class. Can some,
Already pinged, ma'am.
yeah,
Yeah, I pinged in the WhatsApp group already.
okay. So somebody can start reading the puppet.
It's advised in the chapter 13 of the Bhagavad Gita, 13.8 to 12. One should culture knowledge in the following ways. First, one should become a perfect gentleman and learn to give proper respect to others. Second, one should not pose himself as a religionist simply for name and fame. Third, one should not become a source of anxiety to others by action of his body, by thoughts or his mind, or by his words. Fourth, one should learn forbearance even in the face of provocation from others. Fifth, one should learn to avoid duplicity in his dealing with others. Sixth, one should search out a bona fide spiritual master who can lead him gradually to the stage of his spiritual realization, and one must submit himself to such a spiritual master, render him service and ask relevant questions. 7. In order to approach the platform of self-realization, one must follow the regulative principle enshrined in the revealed scriptures. 8. One must be fixed in the tent of revealed scriptures. 9. One should completely refrain from practices which are detrimental to the interest of self-realization. 10. One should not accept more than he requires for the maintenance of the body. 11th, one should not falsely identify himself with the gross material body, nor should one consider those who are related to his body to be his own. 12. One should always remember that as long as he has a material body, he must face the misery of the repeated birth, old age, disease, and death. There is no use in making plans to get rid of this misery of the material body. The best course is to find out the means by which one may regain his spiritual identity. 13. One should not be attached to more than the necessities of life required for the spiritual advancement. 14. One should not be more attached to wife, children, and home than the revealed scriptures ordain. 15. One should not be happy or distressed over desirables and undesirables, knowing that such feelings are just created by the mind. 16. One should become an unalloyed devotee of the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, and serve him with rapt attention. 17. One should develop a liking for the residence in a secluded place with a calm and quiet atmosphere favorable for spiritual culture, and one should avoid congested place where non-devotees congregate. 18. One should become a scientist or philosopher and conduct research in spiritual knowledge, recognizing that spiritual knowledge is a permanent, whereas the material knowledge ends with the death of the body. These 18 items combine to form a gradual process by which the real knowledge can be developed. Except of this, all other methods are considered to be in category of science. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, a great acharya, maintained that all forms of material knowledge are merely external feature of the illusionary energy, and that by culturing them one becomes no better than an ass. This same principle is found here in Isopanisad. By advancement of the material knowledge, modern man is simply being converted into an ass. Some materialistic politicians in spiritual guise decry that the present system of civilization and Sanatani, but Satanic, sorry,
Satanic.
Satanic, yeah, Satanic, but unfortunately they do not care about the culture of real knowledge as it is described in Bhagavad Gita. Thus, they cannot change the Satanic situation. In the modern society, even a boy thinks himself as self-sufficient and pay no respects to elderly men due to the wrong type of education being imparted in our universities. Boys all over the world are giving their elders headaches. So, so Sri Upanishads very strongly warns that the culture of science is different from the knowledge. The universities are so to speak, centers of science only. Consequently, scientists are busy discovering lethal weapons to wipe out the existence of other countries. Universities students today are not given instruction in the regulative principle of Brahmacharya, accelerate student life, nor they do nor do they have any faith in a spiritual scriptural injunction. Religious principles are taught for the sake of name and fame only, and not for the sake of practical action. Thus, there is animosity not only in the social and political field, but in the field of religion as well. Nationalism has developed a different parts of develop in the different part of the world due to the civilization of science by the general people. No one considered that this a teeny earth is just a lump of matter floating in the immeasurable space along with many other lumps. In comparison to the vastness of space, these material lumps are like dust particles in the air because God has kindly made these lumps of matter complete in themselves. They are perfectly equipped with all necessities for floating in space. The driver of our spaceships may be very proud of their achievement, but they do not consider the supreme driver of these greater, more gigantic spaceships called planets. These are innumerable suns and innumerable planetary system also, as infinitesimal part and parcels of the Supreme Lord. We small creatures are trying to dominate this unlimited planet. Thus, we take repeated birth and death and are generally frustrated by old age and disease. The span of human life is scheduled for about 100 years, although it is gradually decreasing to 20 or 30 years thanks to the culture of the Renaissance. Befooled men have created their own nations within these planets in order to grasp this sense enjoyment more effectively. For these few years, but such foolish people draw up various plans to render national uh, democration perfectly. A task that is totally impossible. Yet, for this purpose, each and every nation has become a source of anxiety for others. More than 50% of the nation's energy is devoted to defense measure and thus spoil. No one cares for the cultivation of real knowledge, yet people are falsely proud of being advanced in both material and spiritual knowledge. Sri Isopanisad wants
We'll just have a look, because here we are going to see about Vidya, Dhira and Adhira after this, okay? There are three topics which are going to come further. But before this, whatever you discussed earlier, I don't know whether you really understood basically. So here, when we go to Bhagavad Gita, we will surely thoroughly study this portion. Very nicely we'll study this portion. Right now, we'll study as much as it is given here. So sometimes mundane, we may take these points to be mundane. For example, humility, tolerance, I'm very humble person. No. So Prabhupada mentions that understanding the supremacy of the Supreme Lord and the insignificance of us is called humility. For example, here Prabhupada is mentioning that there is the people who created a spaceship and they are glorified, given Nobel Prize, and they're very proud they feel. But so many planets are floating in the sky. And all these are created by Supreme Lord. So when we consider ourselves to the compare with Supreme Lord, we are very insignificant. And when we really feel it, then we are humble. This is what real humility actually means. So sometimes we take things to be mundane. Mundane means mundane humility without Krishna consciousness. I am very humble. I am very tolerant. No. But what is tolerance? What is humbleness? That is what in Bhagavad Gita purport it was given. Detachment from family. How it is given. Very nicely Prabhupada is giving tips how to practically live the life. So, when we come to Bhagavad Gita, we'll see that each one of this is described in one paragraph or half a paragraph, where Prabhupada practically tells in Krishna conscious what is its meaning. And mainly in the same purport, Prabhupada is mentioning, very important, that there are two items which are very important. And if these two are missing, then everything else is a waste. So what is that? One should become an unalloyed devotee of personality of Goddess Sri Krishna and serve him with rapt attention. This is very important and this is the primary. When doing so, automatically other qualities gets developed. One need not work separately for developing the qualities. But if one becomes unalloyed devotee of Krishna, automatically all other qualities develop. And again, one more is also very important, and this is possible to perform unalloyed loving devotional service to the Supreme Lord only when one accepts a bona fide spiritual master. 6 and 16, if you see. This is explained in Bhagavad Gita. As soon as there are 20 qualities here, 18 is mentioned by Prabhupada. He combined 2 or 3 in the last. But this 6th point and 16th point is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita in purport. Prabhupada is mentioning very clearly. One should search out for a bona fide spiritual master who can lead him gradually to the state of spiritual realization. One must submit himself to such a spiritual master, render him service, and ask relevant questions. So this is accepting a spiritual master, serving him and listening from him, and performing unalloyed loving. Both should be there. Unalloyed loving devotee of the Lord. This 6 and 16 are the primary. And when one becomes this, automatically humility, tolerance, detachment, everything is getting developed along with the devotional service. That is explained in detail in the same purport which you read in Bhagavad Gita. So these except for all these things, everything else is called knee signs. So material education is very much condemned here. The reason is it brings unnecessary proudness. But whatever material knowledge you have acquired, and that will make you a very hard-working ass. The ass will work very hard for no remuneration, very little remuneration. and it has to carry heavy burden. So this is the situation. So there is nothing much to be proud. In order to maintain our family, we may be getting some material education and we may be in some job. It has to be done as a matter of duty and in the basis of our previous karma's result. But that is not real knowledge. First, we should understand, and nothing to be proud of. If somebody is uneducated, but they are excellently performing towards, if somebody is educated, the educated people, general so-called foolish educated people are proud, and the proudness is the symptom of ignorance. Humility is the symptom of knowledge. Very, very simple. To understand whether somebody is really educated or not, when they are spiritually educated, when they are properly, then they are very humble. They don't claim their position and name, fame, glory, and I'm this, I'm that, and show off, nothing. Huh? They just keep performing devotional service. That's it. So that is the symptom. And the modern society, even the wrong type of education is given in the universities, and they are giving the elders their headache. And there are certain people, there are religious principles are taught for the sake of name and fame only, not for the practical action. Sometimes you will see spiritual education. The spiritual education is given very proud. I have seen many brahmacharis, proud brahmacharis. They are proud about their celibacy, and that comedy is seen in their privacy. The privacy only, nobody looks at you, nobody hears what your mind speaks. Supreme Lord is there in every atom, and he is listening to you. So, duplicate brahmacharya, duplicate religiosity, spreading religion for the name and say fame. There is no practical action there. And even if there is a practical action, it's their personal agenda. Thus, there is animosity not only in social and political field, but in the field of religion also. Everywhere you can see so many Swamijis, so many people coming. Now online has come. Any Tom, Dick and Harry is there. Speaking any, and there are 1,000 million likes. Then you may ask how there are 1,000 million likes if they are speaking bogus philosophy. Yes. There is a lady coming and dancing for a movie song. She is also having million likes. And the person, the family is coming and making some joke. And he is also having. So the people are just looking for some entertainment. As a bit of entertainment has no transformation in their life. There is no heavy transformation happening by their presence. And even if something like that happens, they because the person who is spreading this is a bogus person, they lose gradually that spiritual path. So either he is bogus or he is contaminated with this name and fame, sake of name and fame. So nationalism also. So religion, if you see so many spiritual organizations nowadays. And the cultivation of knee science is increasing and increasing and increasing. That no one considers the tiny earth, just a small lump of earth is only there. Many, many planets are floating in the space, like sun and the moon and the stars. When you look at the sky, they are all floating in the air. And nobody wonders, wow. But a puppy dog will be jumping and they'll say, wow. And they'll put like 1 million likes. So this is what is going on. Complete knee science is happening. And we are very infinitesimal part and parcel of the Lord. And we are trying to dominate these unlimited planets. And we become frustrated by taking many births, trying to lord over the material world, I become very expert in, I know how to handle it. I know how to handle my life. I know this. So once you get somebody is in the jail, and they get used to the system of the jail, and they become expert in the system of the jail. Baby, jail is not your home. You have to get out one day. You have to go. What is wonder in becoming expert in the jail's internal processes? I am expert and becoming proud. Anyway, you're a prisoner. So they are very fooled. The befooled men have created their own nations with in these planets. So one time Bhaktisnand Saraswati Thakur was walking and he just stopped and he was looking at the moon. So his disciples were thinking, he is looking, and they all stopped. They also asked him, Guru Maharaj, what is that? So Bhaktisnand Saraswati Thakur said, moon people are becoming atheistic. You need to go and preach that. Like that. So everywhere, so here Prabhupada is mentioning, thanks to the culture of nescience, befooled men has created their own nations within these planets in order to grasp hence enjoyment more effectively. Of course, whatever they say as moon planet is also not moon planet. They say the moon planet is very empty and people are floating in the space. Like that they are showing. But actually, Shastra describes every planet has beautiful forest, greeneries, plants, and whatever. The moon is a chariot, but it's a planet. And the chariot is moving around once a month in Samavartaka. One full circle where the sun goes in a year. The moon is 12 times faster than the sun in speed. Moon is not, what is that? They say moon is a, what planet of sun? Satellite. They say moon is small. See, when you look into the sky, the sun looks a little bigger and moon looks a little smaller. So they say moon is small and sun is big. That is foolishness. The item which is far away will look smaller. The item which is nearer will look big. So the scriptures mention moon is larger than the sun, and moon travels 12 times faster than the sun. So the moon is going around one Paurnami and Amavasya. So the lunar year is 1 month only. But the solar year is 1 year. So the moon is undergoing full moon and a new moon, again full moon. Within 1 year, 1 month, it is completing its orbit. So in this way, there are amazing science which is there, but this nescience have cultivated like this, fooling everybody. So they have their own nations within these planets in order to grasp sense enjoyment. Just to provide, keep on buying items, buying item, buy item, buy item, buy. So many shops are opened. Unnecessary, so many items are sold. This much is not required. Producing more than necessary. Whatever the society's needs has to be fulfilled. That is true. But it's whatever is the products in the market is more than the population. And the population is being forced to spend their money. Advertisement, marketing, everybody calling you to buy this and buy that and offer discount, coupons. In this way. So, yeah. And whatever is that knowledge they are getting, no one cares for the cultivation of the knowledge. And people are falsely proud. And surely they are going to die. And that body, they are going to lose this body. And whatever they are getting educated is based on the sense gratification for this body. So it's a totally temporary. There is nothing permanent. So this is the danger of knowledge. The original knowledge is accepting bona fide spiritual master, unalloyed development of Krishna consciousness, which will lead to beautiful qualities. Humility, pridelessness, false ego of this, I am this body, that false ego will go. Everything is spiritual in that list which was given as knowledge. Nothing is mundane. If it is written that one should live in an isolated place, a mundane, ordinary person reads this point, what he will think. For example, if you take this point 17, One should develop a liking for residence in a secluded place with a calm and quiet atmosphere, favorable for spiritual culture. Okay, I will go to the forest and make. So even if you choose to live in a forest, then forest authority will come and arrest you. Nobody can live in forest nowadays. All the forest belongs to some crowd, and there is a forest authority, forest department. Even animals cannot freely roam around. Every animal has a license in the ear hanging. They punch it. They catch the animal, they punch a license in the ear. And there is a barcode, and they can be tracked where they are going, where they are crossing the river, and where they are drinking water and sleeping in the night. Everything is tracked. Because I lived in Ooty, and there is a forest called Mudumalai Reserved Forest. And when I went there, and they took us into safari in the jeep, and we saw tigers and this and that. Some of the tigers had that punching. Then I asked how this punching. No, they catch them and then just put the punching and they leave them. And then they cannot even roam the forest. What to speak of? So, moreover, our aim is not to roam in the forest, but stay in a spiritual culture. That's all. Spiritual association we seek. It may be in a congested city also, but if the ISKCON temple is there in the congested road, still we go to the ISKCON temple where we can beautifully practice Krishna consciousness. So, no, I will go to the forest only. I will not go to ISKCON temple. ISKCON temple is in the middle of the crowd. That is why we require Prabhupada's purports, where he explains it's not mundane. These ideas are conjunction with the devotional service. None of these points is individually applicable. For example, humbleness. Take the first one. One should become a perfect gentleman and learn giving proper respect to others. Wow, what a personality development course. You can take a personality development course. In material world, they give this kind of advices. The elders give this advice, or in the corporate companies, when anybody joins newly, the HR department will arrange for a soft skills training, in which they will say that, see, this is an MNC, is a multinational company, and multinational means the nationals from different countries will come. So we have to behave very nicely, perfect gentlemen, and we should respect each other. And we should not laugh at their behavior or their accent of speech, language, or their dressing sense. It may differ culture to culture. So these cultural differences should not be taken. So this is education is given, but it's completely mundane. So that is why Prabhupada, when you take Bhagavad Gita, I don't know whether it will open Bhagavad Gita here. I have it here. So if you go into Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada will give an explanation for this very, very nicely. What is humility? I have put it in the slide, but I don't want to. So humility means one should not be anxious to have the satisfaction of being honored by others. That is humility. The material conception of life makes us very eager to receive honor from others. We expect respect. But from the point of view of a man of perfect knowledge, who knows that he is not this body, anything honor or dishonor pertaining to this body is useless. Somebody is commenting on you on bodily concept. It's not going to affect. It need not affect her. Because we know I'm not this body. Today I'm born in this country with this complexion. Maybe I'm very dark, and if people are commenting, they call me Blackie, Blackie. Next life, I'll be born in some America with this fair skin. Who knows where I'll be born? I'll be born as some other animal with multi-skin, chameleon, and I can change my colors. The body. So who bothers if bodily humiliation takes place? And sometimes we see that in material world, people fight, okay, A speaks a particular language, Hindi, and B speaks some Malayalam, and C speaks some Telugu. And they make a fight that the Telugu is like this, and they humiliate the other person and Malayalam, because they consider themselves to be part of that. They don't consider themselves to be the spirit soul, now entangled, now very tightly conditioned by this body. So this is the reason. And it's foolishness to fight on that ground, which is better and that is better and this is better. Nothing is better in the material world. Everything is worse. And false ego also. Sometimes, Prabhu, that Prabhu has so much false ego. So one should not have false ego. If we mundanely read the statement, that is why we want Prabhupada's purport. If we read only the translation, we will end up in so much confusion. So false ego means accepting the body as the self. One understand is the spirit soul is become real ego. Ego should be there. False ego should not be there. True ego should be there. True ego is I am spirit soul. I am servant of Krishna. I am servant of Ami Krishna Das. Yei Vishwash Korlo to aur dukko nahi. If you understand I am Krishna Das, then there is no suffering at all for you eternally. Jiva Krishna Das, Ami Krishna Das. And even for detachment, how nicely Prabhupada is telling, it's very, very easy. If one is in full Krishna consciousness, he can make the home very happy. Because this process of Krishna consciousness is very easy. Like this. So this is Bhagavad Gita. Okay, we come back here. Sorry. So hope all of you understood. Now we will go down to the definition of what is Dhira and what is Adhira. Yeah. Somebody can read this from here.
Sri Isopanisad warns us of this faulty type of education, and the Bhagavad Gita gives instructions as to the development of real knowledge. This mantra states that the instruction of Vidya, knowledge, must be acquired from Adhira. Adhira is one who is not disturbed by material illusion. No one can be undisturbed unless he is perfectly spiritually realized, at which time one neither hankers nor laments for anything. Adhira realizes that the material body and mind he has acquired by chance through material association are but foreign elements. Therefore, he simply makes the best use of bad bargain. The material body and mind are bad bargains for the spiritual living entity. The living entity has actual functions in the living spiritual world, but this material world is dead. As long as the living spiritual sparks manipulate the dead lumps of matter, the dead world appears to be a living world. Actually, it is the living souls, the parts and parcels of the supreme living being, one who move the world. The Dhiras have come to know all these facts by hearing them from superior authorities and have realized this knowledge by following the regulative principles. To follow the regulative principles, one must take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. The transcendental message and regulative principles come down from the spiritual master to the disciple. Such knowledge does not come in the hazardous way of nascent education. One can become Adhira only by submissively hearing from a bona fide spiritual master. Arjuna, for example, became Adhira by submissively hearing from Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead himself. Thus, the perfect disciple must be like Arjuna, and the spiritual master must be as good as the Lord himself. This is the process of learning Vidya, knowledge, from the Dhira, the undisturbed. An Adhira, one who has not undergone the training of Dhira, cannot be an instructive leader. Modern politicians who pose themselves as Dhiras are actually Adhiras, and one who cannot expect perfect knowledge from them. They are simply busy seeing to their own remuneration in dollars and cents. How, then, can they lead the mass of people to the right path of self-realization? Thus, one must hear submissively from a dhira in order to attain actual education.
Okay, thank you. So here, how will I get this knowledge? This 18 list is given. So I really want to get the knowledge. So basically, the knowledge, the word begins, the elementary, very, 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 very basic of knowledge is the first mantra of Isopanisad. Ishavashyam idam sarvam. Everything belongs to the Supreme Lord. Krishna, Supreme Lord is the proprietor. Minimum, if you don't know even Krishna, then the general mass of people may be in another religion. They may be some Muslims or Christian, whatever. The entire thing belongs to the Supreme Lord only. Minimum, it should start with that. So this knowledge about God, the presence of God, the proprietorship of the God, the control of the God, this can be learned. One must submissively from Dhira only. If you want to know the education, science of Krishna, that is possible to two things. Possible to hear from Dhira and to become a Dhira. This is the most important. Who is educated? The person who got educated from a Dhira is considered to be educated. And when his education becomes complete, and he also becomes Dhira. So what is the definition of Dhira? This Bhagavad Gita also speaks about Dhira, but here a definition is given of Dhira. 40 type of education warning is given in the Isopanisad. And Bhagavad Gita gives instruction to the development, 20 qualities are given. Now, I want to develop these 20 qualities. I want to become a real knowledgeable person. How will I get this knowledge? This mantra states that the instruction of Vidya or knowledge must be acquired from Dhira. So, okay, fine. I need to now learn it from Dhira. I understand. Now, who's a Dhira? A Dhira is one who is not disturbed by material illusion. No one can be undisturbed unless he is perfectly spiritually realized. So, in the verse that about Guru, when we see in Bhagavad Gita, Tatvidi Pranipatena Pariprashnena Sevaya Upadekshanti Te Jnanam. So, one who is surrendered to a person because he is a self-realized, he is not only self-realized, he is also God-realized person. So, when we surrender to such a person and listen from him, then we get out of this material illusion, because that other person who's teaching us is out of material illusion. So there is certainly difference between hearing the sound vibration of a conditioned soul and the sound vibration which we are receiving from a liberated soul or a pure devotee spiritual master. Certainly there is difference. Sometimes we say that whether you understand, you don't understand, you sit in Guru Maharaj class. So some people will say, no, when that Prabhu is speaking, this Mataji is speaking, that Prabhu is speaking, I can understand very nicely, he's speaking in my language and this. But when Guru Maharaj says that the language I can't understand, and or sometimes this, they are repeating only the repeater word I'm hearing. No, I'm not. Such a foolish presentation of that. Such a fools, they are such a losers. Because the spiritual sound vibration which is emanating from the lips of the spiritual master is transcendental. It is not material. The best proof is Prahlad Maharaj. When Prahlad Maharaj was in the womb of his mother, Kayadu, he didn't even come out. He is in the womb. But that time, Narada Muni spoke spiritual knowledge to him. Because in Ashuric kingdom, openly Narada Muni cannot come and teach in the school or college. Like now we are going into some school, college, taking classes or something. That is not possible because full Asuric kingdom. So when Hiranyakashipu went to do tapasya and Indra, he came to kill Hiranyakashipu's wife, knowing that she is pregnant. And he wanted to kill the child in the womb also. The reason is he thought the Ashura's son will be Ashura. Then Narada Muni said that, no, I guarantee that the child will be good child. You don't kill this woman. She is innocent. Why she should be killed? Indra cannot kill Hiranyakashipu anyway. So he came to try to kill. So Deva or Asura doesn't matter unless they are spiritually educated. It's a junk. Then Narada Muni took the lady to his ashram. Her name was Kayadu. She's the wife of Hiranyakashipu. And she was pregnant with Prahlad. So, daily Narada Muni used to give Krishna conscious classes. And Kayadu, generally, ladies, they don't like much of a philosophy. If they are bodily concept, who is a lady, who is a man, when it is to spirituality. But she is a typical Ashuri lady, and she was not so very interested. And she's also pregnant, and so she's tired after having food or something. She sits for the class. Then she just dozes off. And when she dozed off, still Narada Muni was able to hear, like this sound was coming. Earlier, that sound was coming. He thought Kayadu is telling, but when Kayadu slept, still he was able to hear Prahlad Maharaj. He was hearing the spirit. So the child has not gone to the school. He has not learned Sanskrit or any language. He didn't learn anything. That it's the child is inside the womb, but it's able to understand the spiritual instruction because the spiritual instructions are transcendental to the body. Another example can be given how material education is within the body only. And when the body dies, you become a zero again. You're totally ignorant. Oh, from last life he has come. No, not like that. Sorry. Whatever you become, be a doctor, engineer, the scientist, whatever you become, you have to go back to LKG, A, B, C, D again. The proof is again Arjuna's wife, Subhadra. She was pregnant with Abhimanyu. So when Arjuna was very curious and he was very interested in the archery. So, and war techniques and tactics, he is expert. He learned from Dronacharya. Not one of the best students, he is the best student of Dronacharya, very dear also. So he's really interested in this. And of course, before Mahabharata war, there was not many opportunities. So the lady was pregnant. And then when his wife, Subhadra, was pregnant, he started teaching the war techniques. He thought the baby will hear and it will become expert person. So she also was listening. And when he was explaining each of the war technique, and the women are again not very interested in these kind of war and this and that and sports activity, cricket and all that. So she also just like that, gradually she slipped away. So what happened when one of the Vyuga was explained, what Chakra Vyuga or whatever, when how to enter and how to fight inside and how to get out. This is what is being taught. But what happened when she was taught, when Arjuna was explaining the Vyuha, how to get inside, the mother was awake and the baby was also listening through the mother. And when mother slept off, Arjuna didn't notice it, but he explained how to come out of the Vyuga, how to escape out of the Vyuha, which is very important part of it. But because Subhadra slept, the baby cannot hear. The baby cannot hear, so the baby Abhimanyu didn't hear it. But when he came to the Mahabharata war, even though they said that you're a small boy, you need not go, but he wanted to participate very eagerly. So, because most of the war techniques he knew and really he fought well. But in the Chakravyuga, he was able to enter, but he didn't know the knowledge of how to come out. See, that spiritual knowledge is not gone. Through the mother only it goes to the baby, the body to body. But when it is to matter, material knowledge. But when it is to spiritual knowledge, even the mother in immaterial, the baby without going to school is able to understand everything. So this is because Arjuna was very powerful, pure devotee. That is why he was able to penetrate and give that knowledge to the baby. If we teach our children, even when they have come out, they are not learning properly. A, B, C, D, nothing goes and say something else. Full of ignorance. Depends on who is cultivating. And the potent person, when he is giving knowledge, it reaches beyond the language. But when it is spiritual, it is even beyond any bodily senses and knowledge, education. So it's not that the people who are educated in college only are wonderful devotees or great. Others are, oh, that Prabhu has a lot of knowledge. With knowledge, what you will do? You'll become proud, and what else? You'll you'll get prema, Krishna prema, but that knowledge? No, not required. A simple person may easily get Krishna Prema and leave the world, but a knowledgeable person may be born again proudly as a monkey. Who knows what is in store for him? So a Dhira is one who is not disturbed by material illusion. No one can be undisturbed unless perfectly spiritually refined. So, in which time neither hankers or laments or anything, like pure devotees like Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, entire Acharya Parampara, so many associates of Lord Chaitanya. Adhira realizes that the material body and mind he has acquired is by chance of material association and by foreign elements. So, I'm not this body. This body is made up of earth, water, fire, air, ether. All these are matter. I am a living entity. This entire world is dead world, dead. Just look around you, whichever room you are right now, just have a look around you. You will see that only dead body, dead, dead tree became sofa, dead tree became cot, and from the tree, everything non-living thing, jada. Jada means without life. So everything is jada. And if there is any living force inside that room, you look into yourself. You are the only person who's alive in that room. 1 or 2 people in your home, 3, 4 people living, and some mosquito and a lizard, which is living, cockroach, whatever. Only that much is living. Rest everything is dead matter. Complete world is dead matter, baby. You are coming and living in the world. This material, Prabhupada is declaring here, this material world is dead. The living entity has actual function in the living spiritual world. Our world, everything is alive, live. Table, chair, everything is alive in spiritual world. In material world, everything is dead. As long as living sparks manipulate the dead lump matter, and we try to manipulate this matter and feel proud, oh, I am expert in manipulating matter. So by superior authority, the Dhira have come to know hearing and have realized this knowledge by following the regulative principles. He has followed the regulative principles, not just the 4 principles which we know, but the Krishna conscious has many principles of regulativeness. And he has very nicely done. Like our Guru Maharaj practiced Krishna consciousness perfectly well under the guidance of bona fide spiritual master Srila Prabhupada. One of Srila Prabhupada's best students, both in hearing and in practice and in service. Dedicated service till today. They say that he is undergoing dialysis. And you know what is dialysis? They will put a hole in his chest and put a tube inside it. He now has a hole also in the chest. So in this way, the superior authority, but still he is coming and giving class. Today night he gave class. Today morning he gave Bhagavatam class. Evening he is giving this class. This is real Dhira, who have come to know all these facts by hearing them from superior authority. He directly heard from Srila Prabhupada. Not only that, he has realized this knowledge by following his principles which are given by Prabhupada. So to follow the regulative principles, one must take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. Only when you take shelter of bona fide spiritual master, you can follow very well. So the transcendental messages and the regulative principles come down from the spiritual master to the disciple. Such knowledge does not come in the hazardous way. Oh, this education, here I gathered some knowledge, in that book I gathered. Which book, Mataji? Sometime now when they tell, I said, Guru Maharaj, lotus feet, go. They just want to gain information. Where can I get this information? Where can I get this so that I'll also go and reproduce like a fool? Realizations, how will you reproduce? You will get your own realization if you're a sincere student. If you want to gather information to show your proudness to others, then you are also lost. So there is a difference between gaining real knowledge by genuinity and just bogusly collecting information and calling it a knowledge. So today in Guru Maharaj class also, Bhaktivinoda Thakur was mentioning one of the anartha is to read books here and there and here, hittar and dittar. So if you take one book, you take from cover to cover and neatly study, beginning to end. If you take one book, you should study like that. You should not study scripture here and there, here and there. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is mentioning into today's Guru Maharaj class, this came. One should not read here and there. And this will lead to unnecessary argument, and it is a anartha. How clearly it is mentioned. So now we are systematically reading. How it is possible? We could have read hither and thather because of Guru Maharaj, who told that you have to do Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, Bhakti Vedanta. You should do properly. Read Srila Prabhupada books systematically and take degree. In this way, we are ending up reading the book in a systematic way. We are taking Isopanisad, we are reading systematically. So this is possible by following the spiritual master only. Only a bona fide spiritual master can guide you properly. Not any Tom, Dick and Harry. Nobody bothers about you. How a blind can lead another blind? That person itself is blind. So such knowledge does not come in the hazardous way of nascent education. One must become a dhira only by submissively hearing from bona fide spiritual master. So what happens? We listen from dhira, we practice it very sincerely, and we again listen and practice. In this way, what becomes? We also become dhira. So what happened? Arjuna also became dhira, submissively hearing from Krishna. Of course, luckily, Arjuna had Krishna as spiritual master. And we are also very, very lucky, more lucky than Arjuna, to have pure devotee of Krishna as spiritual master. So thus, the perfect disciple must be like Arjuna, and the spiritual master will be as good as Lord himself. This is the process of learning Vidya. So only Vidya is proper initiation, proper learning from spiritual. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chittate Koriya Aikya Arano Kare Mane Asha. Just keep spiritual master words in your mind and don't have any other desire. This is Dhira. So what is perfect knowledge? What is knowledge and how to gain knowledge? What is the source? And once you gain the knowledge, what is your name? Your name is also Dhira. You gain Vidya from a Dhira, and after that, you also become Dhira. Now the question is, what is Adhira? The same foolish that knee-science person is called Adhira. And Adhira, one who has not undergone the training of a Dhira, cannot be an instructive leader. Sometimes they come to give instructions. But he doesn't even have a spiritual master. But he comes and gives instructions. And sometimes he doesn't know what is spirituality, what is God. Nothing, no reference. But they are becoming religious teachers, spiritual teachers. The world is filled with them. The modern politicians, one example Prabhupada is giving, who pose themselves as Dhira, actually they know to guide the people. They think that they are guiding the people. Modern politicians. But they are actually Adhira. So one cannot expect perfect knowledge from them just because they are in some position. They are like chief minister, prime minister, president. They may be in whatever position, we don't care, because they can just basic rules and regulation they put, and we will follow as a citizen sincerely. That's all. They cannot guide us in our life, and really they are not interested. Who is interested in your personal life? Your personal problems are yours. You have any trouble in your family, you have to handle it. Government has zero contribution in that. So they are simply busy seeing their own remuneration in dollars and cents. How then can they lead the mass of people to the right path of self-realization? So thus one must hear submissively from a Dhira in order to attain actual education. So whatever we saw that the person who is not in spiritual education with the under proper bona fide spiritual master is called Adhira, who is not under the bona fide spiritual master, is not taken proper education, training, is Adhira. So hope you understood what is Dhira, what is Adhira, and also the real knowledge. What is real knowledge? We'll study the detail of knowledge again in 13th chapter when we go to Bhagavad Gita. But basically, all these points are related with spirituality only and devotional service. Spirituality is a very wide concept. But it is related to devotional service only. And especially surrendering oneself to the Supreme Lord and then accepting a bona fide spiritual master or primary aspect of this knowledge. Once you do that, automatically other qualities come into you. Okay. Thank you very much. Any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hari Bol.
Yeah, so actually, what is first essential that means that a person should be like, means person means a disciple should be like Arjun, or means any teacher we should like Krishna. So means what is the more first essential? Like for example, yeah, means we need to surrender, right? It is written in Bhagavad Gita, right? We need to surrender to that person who is realize that knowledge. But now we are seeing that we are surrendering to anyone, like in our ISKCON system also. We actually means there are so many guide or shiksha guru like that, and we are surrendering to him, and so means that's why we are missing the real knowledge, or I think so means how to this tackle this position, because right now we are also seeing that we are not able to reach to highest position, which means for example like Guru Maharaj and other Guru means other Guru means Prabhupada disciple, and we are only hearing from here and there, some who are in our local area. So we are, I think, getting misguided, because we are, you have just rightly mentioned that we are not getting realized knowledge, we are getting only information. So means how to solve this problem?
Very simple. There is one pure devotee who is coming and sitting in your home. That is Srila Prabhupada. And we have a bona fide spiritual master. There may be many, many people, but how many of them guided us to read the books properly? But Guru Maharaj, every lecture he is telling, take Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, Bhakti Vedanta, read all the books, Srila Prabhupada book, systematically, properly, and take the degree like this. So now, because it's Bhakti Shastri, we are going through systematically this book, and you will also write some exam. Then we are hearing from Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada has written in Bhagavatam, there is 18,000 verses. For all that, he has written purport. This information which he is giving. And other people, we just respect, we don't surrender. The only thing is there is difference. See, we invest faith in everybody. For example, when you were not a devotee, you went to a bus, okay? You went in so many buses. Any time when you get inside the bus, did you ask the license of the driver? Or did you find out whether the driver is drunk? And did you ask whether that driver is feeling sleepy? But you happily got inside, sat in the seat, thinking that this bus will reach safely. So you invested faith casually, yes or no? So in this way, but we invest more faith on your father or more faith on your job compared to a driver in the bus. So in this way, relative, this world is full of relative, and sometimes we tend to surrender to various people. Once in a while, we invest our faith. So this Krishna is calling in Bhagavad Gita, he calling this phenomenon a conditioned soul will undergo, called divisions of faith. Many lifetimes we surrender to demigods. We worship demigods. All this we already did in previous lives. We surrender to many demigods. Sometimes we surrender to the person who is our owner of the company, who is giving money. In this way, sometimes we invest faith in various places. But now it is time to pull up that faith. When you understand the real spiritual master, you need to pull those faith and put it in the lotus feet of one spiritual master who is initiating you. Not anybody and everybody, A, B, C, D. There are 1,000 paths. I'll walk in all the 1,000 paths. You will not reach anywhere. You will not go anywhere when you're so many informations. So the best is one time all Srila Prabhupada's books, cover to cover you read. Then you think of hearing from anybody else. And if you have an initiating spiritual master, if he is giving personal classes, you try to attend it live. That's all. Simple. Keep it simple. Otherwise, when you're going to some temple and there is a Sunday feast, a person is giving class, it is not wrong to listen to the class. You should listen to the class. And you should ask questions. You should ask questions. You should clarify things. And you just need to come. Okay, you surrender. Oh, Prabhu, you gave very good lecture. I give my head to you. I surrender my life unto you. Not necessarily. Later, you will find somebody better. After some time, you will better. A is better than B, is better than C, is better than D. And after D, you surrender for a long time, then you understand E is better. This is relatively, this world shows various relative things to us. So there's nothing wrong in listening to others, but just continuously listening, surrendering, this is not required unless you finish your books. And where is that person speaking from? You're telling so many people talking. Where is that man talking from? So information only that guy is giving. You can get the information from Srila Prabhupada books directly. You also listen from Prabhupada. Like demigods are telling that I am the way. You cannot go to God directly. I am the way. You have to come only through me. So we say, no, demigod, sorry. Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. You are one of the Son. I am also one of the Son. I am surrendering to Krishna. So same way, we have Srila Prabhupada books spread all over the world. Prabhupada asked it to be distribute books, distribute books, distribute books. And the interest which we are seeing in distributing books is not in the reading. So we have to, Prabhupada's teachings are amazing. Amazing teachings, and we have to read from Srila Prabhupada books. In this way, you listen, then your information is authentic. Nicely, you should study, not by point for argument, but a full purport, full overview. You should sincerely lead to, you tell Prabhupada, I want to gain knowledge only from you. Pray nicely, and then read Srila Prabhupada books. Prabhupada will teach you everything, and then your knowledge is correct knowledge. So spiritual master and Prabhupada comes primary, everybody else is secondary. Any good speaker in the world is secondary. They are not important. Spiritual master's teachings and Prabhupada teachings. Immediate spiritual master of a particular person, you have to surrender to your spiritual master. If you go to anywhere and everywhere, then you are in a confused state. You are not reach anywhere. So just have faith, and that faith will manifest so many wonderful things. There is Madhavendra Puri had many disciples. In that, two are prominent. One is Ishwara Puri, another is Ramachandra Puri. So this Ishwara Puri was submissively, when Madhavendra Puri became old, then Ishwara Puri was very sincerely serving him in various ways. But Ramachandra Puri, he had his own mutt. He has his own mutt and followers and all. He mixes Mayavadi philosophy and impersonalist philosophy with bhakti, and he's a very confused person. And then he had his own monastery in Varanasi. He was very proud. He used to advise his spiritual master. He used to come and tell that, you're very old and you may disappear any time, so better to think of Brahman. Like that, he used to tell some sloka from Bhagavad Gita and all that. So in this way, he displeased the spiritual master, whereas Ishwara Puri very submissively, nicely served the spiritual master and heard from him very nicely. Whether the spiritual master is educated or uneducated, the Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was most educated, When he was 8 or 10 years old, I don't remember the age, less than 12 years, okay? He used to tell the Bhagavad Gita, first sloka to last sloka, and last sloka to first sloka. And he calculated the Vedic calendar. Today in ISKCON, we are using ISKCON Vaishnava calendar. That calendar was invented by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And he learned the Surya Siddhanta, one book, and from there he created our own Panchanga. Panchanga, or what do you say, that the Vedic calendar, Vaishnava calendar. The complete finding out of when is Bhishma Panchaka, when is Kartik Month, everything we can find out by the formula he has given in his books. And he knows so many 6 or 8 languages he used to speak. He knows so many languages. He established 64 Gaudiya Maths. Very expert, but whom did he take initiation from? Gaurakishore Das Babaji Maharaj was totally an illiterate. So the material education, or the way of speech and comments and jokes, and you want a mental massage or information gathering, this may be going on. The Sangha in which you mix, you will become that personality. So if you mix with a pure devotee, if you listen from a pure devotee, you will become a pure devotee. That is mentioned, full Bhagavatam is that only. how Narada Muni became a devotee. He took the remnants of Bhaktivedantas. He didn't even hear in as a 5-6-year-old boy what he will understand philosophy. He cannot understand philosophy much. But just took a remnant and then he became Narada Muni. He saw Krishna face to face. The Supreme Lord Paramatma came out of the heart and showed darshan to him. Just because he took some remnants and he pleased the spiritual master, and the small boy had very quick darshan. So our aim is to love Krishna, make everyone love Krishna, not to gain knowledge and to become famous. These attitudes are all contaminations in the heart, and we can pray to Narasimhadev to remove all this. When we come to Mayapur, when we see Narasimhadev, otherwise also in your home, you can have a photograph of Narasimhadev and pray that to remove all these contaminations from the heart. And he will very easily help removing all this contaminations. So very nice. Our Krishna conscious movement is very beautiful. It is very nice. And when we go to temple here, there some places, some Prabhuji may be giving some lecture. You can sit in the lecture casually, like you're sitting in the bus and they play so many cinema movies, your songs that you're hearing. Why can't you hear a Bhagavad Gita Bhagavatam class? What is wrong? There is nothing wrong. And getting carried away and submitting yourself at a person's feet, that you have to think. I sell my head to a person without checking his qualification. Already to the bus driver, you did it. To somebody else, you did also. Krishna will save you if you're a sincere person. If you're sincere, you'll be saved. Your sincerity will save you. Nothing much to worry in our movement. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu keeps saving everybody. So don't worry. If you're a sincere guy, automatically you'll be taken to the right path. Is that okay?
Yes, Sudhu.
Okay. Anybody else? Any questions? Comments? Okay, it's late. We'll see the next verse tomorrow. Sorry, day after tomorrow, Monday. Tomorrow, would you like to have the class? I don't mind. I want to finish it quickly. Tomorrow, I will put in the group, okay? We'll have the class at 9 o'clock. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari
Hari Hari Bol.
Bol.